Alrighty, so I don't know if that's too loud. Anyways, so this is S&P 500. We go. This is the whole range. This is all daily, right? And so we want price is ranging like around here, right? So we want to measure the whole. We want to get the yearly VP here down, right? One tick. We go to two ticks just so it pops up. Should pop up. Anyways, it'll load up. There you go. So I like to get it as precise as possible. Let's see if we can get it to two ticks. One tick. Yeah, look at that. All right, so yearly VP, got it down. Here's the daily VP. You got to use daily VP or session volume profile. So yeah, number one thing, it's important to understand how auction market theory happens. Can you see how we're like ranging in this range? Boom, we jump, and then we find balance. This right here is called balance, right? If you look at a volume profile, boom, it's gonna be balance. It wants to range up, boom, find new balance. Range up, boom. These are imbalances. Every time we go down, every time we go up, right? Find new balance here. Boom, find new balance here, right? This is auction market theory at its finest, right? People are trying to find better prices for what to trade, better price to trade this certain asset, right? And so it's important to understand. If you understand volume profile and how it interacts with all these little daily volume profiles, you're gonna understand the bias for the day, right? So let's see here. I already have enough market experience just to know to look at the candles. We're first gonna go down, right? In order to go higher, we must go lower first, right? So we're pretty bullish here, right? We can see a run up. We're gonna manipulate lower, and then we're just gonna keep going higher because we're like, look at that, right? We want to go back to all-time highs eventually. So, anyways, I'm explaining my strategy here. Auction market theory must when we're talking about VP, right? This big high volume node is because this right here, are the edges, like this little dip right here, edges of all these. These are reversals. This is where price rejects this big node or at the peak. This is where price accepts the most, where it's the most traded, right? So even just by like trading on the outskirts of here, you can catch some pretty good trades. Boom, right here, boom, boom, right here. It kind of ranges out. Anyways, so we got our bias in check. We're going to longs. We're going we're bullish. So so what do we have here? Okay, cool. I am trying to find the highest peak, right? We're trying to catch a reversal. If we're going long, we want it to go down and then catch a reversal right there and then go long on our position, right? And then TP all the way up here. So this is the highest point right here. We go there. Standard deviation. What does that look like? Mark out this entire leg. I know what's going to happen already. This is replay, by the way. So this was Monday, July 6th, 2026. So I'm not paying attention to these. I'm paying attention to these right here. So I might as well. Yeah, there you go. So we're only paying attention to those currently. And that's kind of our range right here. This is our range. Either looking at this or we're looking at this. Right? These are the highest probability ones. Right? And okay, so I have a second standard deviation to get a little bit more precise right before the final move. So once we kind of get near this box, it's gonna let me to mark out the last standard deviation. So all right, I'm gonna have to rely on VP now. Like, how do I know where specifically it's gonna reverse? Because I love precise entries. Cool. We're just gonna look in this area and we're gonna look in this area. Right? What do we see? So I've seen this plenty of times. We're gonna look at the daily VP first. Actually, no, highest time frame first. That's the most important thing. Right? So if we've got these standard deviations here, what can we see on the volume profile? So it looks like we have this huge node right here. Right? So this huge node, and we're already on this side of, if we're right here on this extreme, we're most likely going to range lower here and then charge all the way up and then to this liquidity right here, this high. So what am I going to mark out here specifically? What's in line with -3, -3.5, and the -4s? We have like these tiny shelves, and I'm trying to go for the most highest probability setup. So this is a shelf right here where it goes down. So I'm going to grab half of that shelf. I'm going to grab half of this shelf. I might as well include that one as well. And I'm going to grab half of, that's not really a good shelf, really. Honestly, I could just grab this whole node. Yeah, just like so. And then we have this shelf right here. Oops. Right? That gives us an idea. And then we have right here, we have a pretty steep drop off on this daily volume profile, and then we have a steep drop off near point of control. So first thing I can see that pops out, point of control almost lines up with this. This lines up with the value area, boom, lines up with point of control here. Amazing. That's already great confluence. Plus, we have these midnight opens right here. These purple lines, they all line up together. And so that's a good sign as well. But that's not going to be precise enough for us, so we'll just forget about those. We look at this. How are these all lining up? All the daily VPs. Okay. So where's our standard deviations? Right there. We have somewhat of a ledge right here. Shelf. Probably go something like that. Might not be so easy to see it if you're on your phone, if you're watching this. Okay, -4. We might as well. No. Yeah, another shelf right here. If we're looking at the -4s for reversal area. Then we move on to the next one. What can we see? Point of control. Shelf right there. And then shelf right here. And then potential shelf right there. I should make these brighter, honestly. What we're trying to make is kind of like a heat map sort of deal, right? Heat map. Here, there's nothing much really. I mean, there's like this low volume node, shelf sort of deal, and yeah, nothing there. So, what can we see here? Where's the heat all lining up for all those shelves? Yeah. So standard deviation gives us the general area where to aim, and then all these shelves and whatnot. We're trying to see what lines up the most. That is going to be the best, how do I say it? Imbalance area, right? That wants to like bounce off and reject from. So we see the heat is mainly like right here. And then we got a good amount of heat like right here, pretty much. So I'm still refining the strategy. It's only getting better and better. But this is pretty much the thick of it. Standard deviation, volume profile, and that's really it. That's really it. So let's go in a minute, and we're gonna wait until we get into our areas of heat. Right? Oh yeah, by the way, New York Open is like right here, 7:30 for me. Sometimes the move likes to happen earlier, the ultimate reversal. So once we make it to that first area of heat, we're going to mark out our second standard deviations, third standard deviation, just to get more precise on the entry. So I like where we're at right now. So let's get a little bit more precise. So mark this one out right here. Let's mark this one out right here. Whoops. Bada bing, bada boom. What was I on? Okay, I think I went a little too far. Yeah, okay, yeah, I didn't even mark. Yeah, okay, let's see here. Yeah, so it's that one, and this one. There you go. Yeah, so this was supposed to be my entry here, but yeah, this is where I was supposed to long. I gotta retell, we got absorption happening here. If you know heat maps, so ideally this would have been my entry right here. This is just to backtesting my strategy, just to show you what I'm kind of doing. Great point. This liquidity right here for TP. Oh, whoops. If we know we're bullish on the higher time frame, yeah, we go all the way up to here, previous week, previous day high, and yeah, like a terrible trade for me would be. So there's point of control here. This is higher time frame point of control. That's also it's already in a good spot for the liquidity sweep. If we want to get a little bit of greedy, we can go here for take profit, right there. But yeah, this right here, this stop loss would be like just horrible for me. This would be a terrible trade. I want to get like something like this, but ideally something like this, right? 18R, 10R is kind of like what I usually go for, right? So if we go something like this. How do I know for stop losses? We have this ledge right here, right? If we go halfway on the ledge, so from here to here, we go halfway there, that's safe, right? But if you know what you're looking at, if you have enough experience, you can, and if you want to take a little bit more risk, you could go right there, right? Get a 17R trade right there. And so, yeah, let's play it out. TP hit. I just showed you like live execution, and then look how precise you can be. And it reverses right here on this ledge, right? And it just starts going down. Doesn't see this point again, from what I know, or it probably does. But this is great. It's already like 2 hours sort of trade. If you're waiting like that, yeah, 5 hours 58 minutes. If it was point of control, it would have been 3 hours 50 minutes. So yeah, see, boom, and it just starts going down from there. So yeah, volume profile is a shit. This is my strategy pretty much, and yeah.